I love the names on this team. They have Sixto Sanchez, and they have my favorite name probably in baseball right now, Jazz Chisholm.
Showing emotion in baseball is terrible and should never be in the game.
It's weird how the dynamic works between sports.
But to win a championship, not only do you need great players on the court, but you need good chemistry, which takes time to develop.
Justin Fields is a all-time talent.
Corey Perry will give some veteran presence to the Canadians.
I feel like Luka will take that next step, and if he can get a three ball consistently around 35%, I feel like they could become a contender.
We can make jokes about you not being in the Super Bowl for 20-something years, but...
What's up, everyone? This is Justin Goldman from the Goalie Guild and Lift the Mask, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Austin and Kevin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NBA Opinions of the Week. I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by the man that wants to light the beam, Austin.
I do want to light the beam, Kevin. This is, as a Wizards fan and as a Mavs fan, I mean, both of us do not have a team to root for these playoffs, so I had to find a team to do that for, and I think I chose America's team here with the Kings.
Well, yeah, I was rooting for the Warriors last night, though, because this is a little scheduling thing. So we are reviewing the first round, and then we're previewing the second round, but the first round has yet to end because the Kings won. So on our next NBA video in a few days, we will have a review of the Warriors-Kings series. But it doesn't make sense since the second round starts before the first round ends, which is confusing in all itself.
Kevin, me and a couple of friends were talking about this last night. So the NBA is talking about, let's shorten the season, right? Let's spread out the schedule of the regular season. And then they add a mid-season tournament, and they rush through the playoffs. There is no rest. Jimmy Butler wins in 5, no rest. He plays on Sunday. He plays the same day that the first round is still going on. And he won in 5. What is the point of winning quickly? What is the advantage?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I'm not sure I'm not sure that there is an advantage.
There is in the NHL because you actually get rest. Vegas, the only team to win in 4 or less, or 5 or less, I should say. They are going to get more time off than the Oilers or Kings, who they're going to play next. They're going to. But the Knicks and the Heat both won the same day in 5. So
yeah. And I just don't get how are you going to get people, I guess, it just doesn't make sense. Why are we starting the second round now when the first round isn't over? Just wait till the first round.
You can't wait a couple of days because today, because we were posting this today, Suns versus Nuggets. And then tomorrow is Golden State Kings. You couldn't just start the second round on Monday? Is Saturday to Monday that big of a change?
Yeah, like there can't be a scheduling conflict with especially with Warriors Kings and not with the Heat Knicks because of the NHL teams. And then just work it out with the NHL. Yeah, it's like one
the
day.
NHL plays every night.
Well, yeah. I thought there was something with the Kings when they had home games because they share that arena
with the Clippers and the Lakers.
So that's the only one. But I heard that's why the Kings and Oilers had such a long day off.
That's fine. That makes sense. Okay.
Well,
I don't think that's a reason why the Lakers series is over. Let's just wait then.
Yeah. I was saying that because I don't think with the Warriors Kings, no NHL team plays that stadium. Yeah, it's just terrible management. You just shouldn't. Just wait one day.
Question. What the whole point of? Hey, should we shorten the season to 56 games or whatever, and then rush through the playoffs again to where Jimmy Butler gets hurt because he's trying so hard and playing so hard, and there's no reward. Why not rest a game 5 in Milwaukee and then try to win game 6? You want to get the series over, yes, but you also don't want to get hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, I do agree. This NBA playoffs has been very annoying to me just because of the schedule. It just doesn't, like, why are we doing it? Why do we have the plan? Then you don't
Another
have a day
thing.
off.
Another thing. Why? Look, I have NBA TV, but why are some of the games on NBA TV in the first round? Why have some of the games been there? There's been some Nuggets Timberwolves games. There's been uh, there was the Clippers Suns game on NBA TV. There were so many games on NBA TV. Why a pay per view service is showing playoff games? What are we doing, NBA? If you're a Nuggets fan in Florida, you can't watch the game unless you have NBA TV. Imagine that. That's so stupid.
It really is. Yeah, it really is.
Imagine, let me put this in another perspective. Imagine if the Cowboys played in a wild card game and you couldn't watch it.
That might happen in a few years because it might be on Amazon Prime. But yeah, I think there was like a schedule because now TNT is super busy this time of year because they both have the NHL playoffs and the NBA playoffs. Same with ESPN. So that could be with NBA TV, but yeah, I think NBA.
No excuse. I don't really care.
Yeah,
there's no excuse.
I think NBA must have purchased the rights.
If the NHL can do it with the same amount of games in the first round, actually more games considering there's less sweeps, and less series that go 5 or less, there's no excuse.
Yeah, it's true. And like it would just be on True TV, like because games go into overtime. But yeah, so we're just complaining about the NBA playoffs because it's annoying as we want to predict the games, but it's kind of a pain when we can't predict one series because, yeah, it's just confusing. So, NBA do better. Just, yeah. So, we'll review the first round series that have ended. I think we'll save the biggest surprise for later. One minor surprise, though, was the Sixers sweeping the Nets.
Yeah, I definitely didn't expect this. Now, both of us had the Sixers winning, so we're not completely shocked, but the Nets just need time to mesh, and I think they'll be much better next year. They've played well, and this series was a bad matchup. Claxton played amazing, though. Claxton was amazing on Embiid. Embiid ended up not even playing in Game 4, which may have been just rest. It may have just been like, hey, we don't know where we're going to play our series. It's just like,
I think they were fine giving him one game. They were kind of taking the approach you were talking about. We're going to win this series, and he has a knee injury. So, and that's why I was like, oh, the Nets are going to win. But no, the Sixers played really well. So
yeah, Paul Reed played amazing.
Yes. And I think the Nets, they'll definitely be better. I think they can only go up from here because they lost their 2 superstars, got a lot of players back in trades, and now they can add guys. And I can't see this team taking a step back.
No, and the consistency between the teammates will be much better come next playoffs.
Yes. But good job with the Sixers. We will be doing a video in the future where it's playoff performers. So we're talking about specific playoff performances. But I thought there were some great plays. And now they face the Celtics. And the Celtics took a little bit longer to finish the Hawks than I expected.
I'm not a big Trae Young guy. Trae Young does not shoot efficiently, whether it be from 3 or the field. But he was very clutch in Game 5 and helped push it to 6, so I will give him credit for that. DeJounte Murray was out for that game. He got suspended. It was just Trae and the bigs on his team, so I do give him a lot of credit for winning that game. It was a tough fight.
Yeah, he had a great shot where I just couldn't think Jaylen Brown, there was nothing Jaylen Brown could have stopped it. It was just a great shot.
No, that's not a shot that you're like, oh, the defense was bad. No. It's just like the Dame shot on Paul George. Like, you're taking that from almost half court. Like, if you make it, you make it. Like,
it was just great offense.
Yeah.
But yeah, Celtics, it wasn't a shock. It just took a little bit longer than I expected, but that should be a fun series. And then the Knicks beat the Cavs in 5.
Yeah. I do get a point for it being in 5, but Unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, you had Cavs in 5. I forgot about that.
I did. What happened to their defense? Great question. I have no idea. Their defense completely collapsed. And
What about rebounding? Or, well, I guess that's part of defense too. It seemed like Mitchell Robinson was dominating on the boards.
yeah, he played amazing. He had like 18 boards in Game 5. Like, what are you guys doing with Evan Mobley? And I mean, that makes me question why they traded Kevin Love, who was literally the leading rebounder in multiple games for the Heat in the Bucks series.
Yeah, that's. Wow, I didn't know he was the leading rebounder. Wow.
For multiple games, yeah. Bam ended up leading for the series, I'm pretty sure. But Kevin Love had a couple games where he was the leader.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, and I know Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson trade signing was good for them, but I think it just helps them have other scorers and let them shine, like Julius Randle, who got injured. So another thing where what's the benefit of winning in 5 if they can't rest Julius Randle?
Exactly. I have no idea. Oh, by the way, in Game 5, Kevin Love did lead the team in rebounding. He had 12. The next closest was Bam with 10. Right,
Yeah.
Game 5, Kevin Love had 15 and 12.
Well, yeah. So I guess we can talk about that series. Yeah, way to go, Jimmy Butler. He stole a series. The Bucks are the second team since the 2007 Mavericks to lose to an 8 seed.
You mean the first team since the 2007?
First team. Yeah, they were the first. Yeah, first team since the Mavs. Yeah. My bad.
That's all good. Jimmy Butler played amazing, averaging 37.6% from the field. 37.6 points per game, 59.7% from the field, 44% from 3, 12 of 27. He shot amazing from 3. But I hate that people argue like, oh, it's a 5v1. There is no 5v1s. Bam had a triple-double in Game 5.
Really?
18, wow. 10, and 10. And people are like, oh, it's all Jimmy Butler. Bam is guarding Giannis and it has a triple-double. Like, his value is extreme. Now, is Jimmy Butler a major, major, major reason? Yes, totally. How did Kevin Love lead the team in blocks for the series? What am I looking at?
I didn't think he got much playing time, but I didn't watch.
Oh, no. He played 21.7 minutes per game. He played the 5th most minutes. And
this is out. They lost Tyler Hero earlier in the series, and Jimmy Butler. I think he just seemed to me he did what you expect big time players to do in the playoffs. Like I've said about Giannis, Jimmy Butler just dominated when he needed to dominate, but he also got key contributions, like you said, from Bam Adebayo. And I was just the Bucks. I think Giannis' injury hurt them, but also it just seemed like other guys couldn't hit their shots.
Well, I mean, yeah, and when you're not playing defense and Duncan Robinson is shooting, listen to this, 73.7% from 3.
So Duncan Robinson played much better than he has for the whole
season. Shot 14 of 19 from 3, Kevin.
Wow.
He was not missing.
So he's living up to his contract.
Yeah. I mean, the defense for the Bucks was the reason why they lost. Giannis getting hurt was a big part of that, but the fact that as a team, the Heat shot 45% from 3, Kevin. As a team. They also shot 51.9% from the field. Like, Caleb Martin had a great game in Game 4 in in Miami when they made that great comeback. And then the other comeback was led by Gabe Vincent. And Gabe Vincent had besides obviously Butler, but Gabe Vincent hit a huge 3. He had 22 points. He played well. Oh, Bam had 20, 10, and 10, not 18, 10, and 10.
Okay. Wow. That's incredible. And I wonder what the Bucks do now because Chris Middleton's a free agent. Not sure if he comes back. Could be a lot of changes happening for this Bucks team.
Yeah, and I'm really sad to hear what happened to Mike Budenholzer, and I can't believe he was even able to coach for the rest of the series. So,
I must have missed that. I can look it up. I'll look it up.
Yeah, just
look it up. But yeah, I've been. Oh wow. I read the news, and yeah, that's wow.
I don't know how you're able to coach after that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how you do that. And I don't view it as a Budenholzer. I think it was just players to me. It was
in
the
game
roster.
5, he should have called a timeout when Giannis fell on the floor. They had 2. He didn't call any, but there's a serious chance he wasn't there.
Yeah, he wasn't. But yeah, I think it's a lot more with the roster construction.
And Giannis's injury.
Yeah, Giannis' injury really hurt too. But yeah. Well, yeah, we'll move on to the Lakers and Grizzlies. Wow. I had Grizzlies and you had Lakers, and you were right. You got it. Lakers 1-6 and a 125-85 win to close out the series.
Yeah, I don't think is Ja fine in the West.
No, he's not. Oh man, dude, like the jaw injury hurt, but he still put up 45 in one of their losses. But man, it's just the Lakers stepped up. Austin Reeves, that will be someone we talk about in future videos, because that game 1 just surprised me when he was getting the ball at the end of the game over LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what? Which is crazy. They now have the supporting cast that they need for LeBron to dominate, which he did in I believe that's game 4 in the overtime win when he sent it to overtime.
Yeah. LeBron obviously didn't play like LeBron. Like, he shot 19.5% from 3, averaged 22, 11, and 5. But that's partially because Memphis is a good defensive team. Ja struggled shooting the ball from the field, but so did the majority of the Grizzlies. They shot as a team 40% from the field, 31.2% from 3. They just couldn't hit. The only one who really could hit threes is Santi Aldama and Ja. But the way that Anthony Davis dominated some games, it just kind of shows to me why Brook Lopez was the better choice for Defensive Player of the Year. If we look at Brook Lopez played amazing in the Heat series. Amazing. Like, he averaged an amazing total. Brook Lopez averaged 19 points, 6.4 boards, but then averaged 1.4 steals and 1.8 blocks against the Heat. He played great defensively, Brook Lopez did. But if you look at Jaren Jackson, who was guarding AD, he just didn't play the same. Like, he fouled out of some games. He had 24 fouls in 6 games, which is 4 fouls a game. That you can't win consistently when your guy has to shy off.
Yeah. I got a little confused because I thought you were saying Brook Lopez should win over Anthony Davis, but then I got it with Jaren Jackson, and a lot of the other bigs were hurt. Steven Adams, I think, would have made this a tougher series because, I'm looking at the stats, and there's not a point where, there was one game against the Grizzlies where AD didn't get more than 10 rebounds.
Yeah. And wasn't that the game that, was that game 4? No.
I think it was game 2.
Game 2.
He was 4 from 14 on the
Yeah, but he had 9. So he had the same amount of boards as Jaren Jackson that game. 9 and 9.
Okay. Yeah, and he had a ton of blocks. So, yeah, the Lakers, it all worked out for him, which is given. I shouldn't have paid too much attention to that play-in game that I did.
I can't believe AD actually averaged 4.3 blocks.
Oh my gosh.
Like, that is crazy. That is AD at Kentucky numbers.
Yeah, and that's the AD that's healthy. So, and that's just a big series. And I wish I could preview the series, but we're just gonna have to wait after.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what game was it. What game did AD have like 8 blocks?
I'm looking. I think that may be game 1. It says I'm looking at like Google stats, so it says 7.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense because there was one game I know that he was literally going, yeah. He had 7, 3 steals, 7 blocks, which means he had 10 stocks, which is steals plus blocks, which is crazy.
Yeah, and I think LeBron didn't play like LeBron, but he had his moments, which I think it's scary that they were still able to dominate, and really shows how well they did trade deadline.
Yeah, I mean, Rui played amazing throughout the majority of the series. I'm glad to see him doing well. He averaged 14.5 points, 4.7 boards, but his percentages were amazing. 57% from the field, 52% from 3. He was good.
Yeah, and then we have one more series, which was the Suns beating the Clippers. Kawhi has a torn meniscus. That's why he couldn't play. And yeah, it's tough. The Suns actually did it. Devin Booker got 46 points, but it's pretty easy when other guy he's not the main option. The main option, in my opinion, is Kevin Durant.
Yeah, he's not even the main ball handler. I wouldn't even put him in the top 2 main ball handlers because I bet if we're talking ball handler, how the offense is kind of constructed, it's probably still Chris Paul because he's still bringing the ball up and being a good passer. But then it's probably KD because KD can create so well for himself. So it does kind of make you wonder how this will work in the future against a better team, a more healthy team. Kawhi only played 2 games and he averaged 34.5 points, so losing him was very, very rough. But I got to give Russell Westbrook his props. He played very, very well.
Yes, I agree. And yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of Devin Booker out, especially after the Mavs Sun series. But yeah, Russell Westbrook was incredible. Would have been great if they had Paul George that could have helped him. But now I think we can talk about the series, the second round series. Well, Suns Nuggets, that's going to be very interesting. I believe this is a team that's played each other a little bit before in the playoffs. And I think the Nuggets, I'm curious, this is a big DeAndre Ayton series. How does he defend the rim? Because I don't trust, like I get why the Suns made the trade and they can work it out. It's just, to me, Ayton doesn't seem to work with the Suns the past year. It seems very rocky.
This is a big series for me. I have the Nuggets going to the championship. I believe you do too, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I'm a huge. People are like, "Oh, the Nuggets aren't going to do it." I don't get the dislike for Jokic, and like, "Well, he's not a great defender." Well, the dude's putting up an MVP type season. It's tough if he'll win it, but I understand why people have him winning it.
Yeah, and this is a series that is going to be very entertaining to watch. I have a separate question, not necessarily about this series, but in general. If you win a game, if you win a series in 7, and you're going against a team that just swept a team, does that mean you're at a disadvantage if the game is not, like, if, besides rest, I'm talking about, like, are you now projected to lose? For example, if the Lakers end up winning in 6, does that mean the Kings or Warriors are at a disadvantage because they played 7 games?
No, I don't think so. I think when you're in that type of environment for a game 7, you're almost ready. You're ready to set the tone.
Okay. So I've seen some people say, like, well, if you win a series faster, then that means that you're gonna probably win the next series. For example, that a better one, Sixers win in 4, but Celtics win in 6.
That's a good transition too. I think it's harder for a team that's won, because I'm just thinking mindset wise. For me personally, I want to be in that do or die mode. Well, I'd like not actual die, but for athletes, it's in that killer mode.
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
and I'm just think it's hard to get back up to that motivation.
But you just gotta keep it. You gotta keep it while practicing and everything. You gotta. You still got to win the series in 4 because you don't want to actually give it 5 and then 6. So, okay, now we're winning in the 7, and then you somehow give up the first 3-0 comeback ever. But I think the Celtics-Sixers series will be really, really good. I have the Sixers winning. I believe the advantage.
Celtics.
I think the advantage is the experience of Harden. Harden has played in a lot of playoff series. If he can be Harden, I think the Sixers win the series. But Harden's the most important player, because we've seen what Embiid kind of falls off in the playoffs. Tobias Harris has played fine. Tyrese Maxey's played amazing.
That's true.
So it's going to be a tough matchup going against Tatum, the Sixth Man of the Year winner, Malcolm Brogdon, obviously Jaylen Brown and Al Horford and all these other guys.
Yeah, and something that I just thought of is coaching. Doc Rivers has struggled with leads, but you also have a rookie head coach in Joe Mazzulla. So what key... I do think coaching matters in the playoffs still a little bit. Just key timeouts, key moves. And and Doc Rivers, of course, has coached for a long time. So I'm curious on what matchups we see. But I do think you do have the experience of Harden, but you also have a team. This Celtics team looks hungry, and this roster construction is amazing to me. I think that their bench could maybe be a better starters for some of the teams in just in general for the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, something you have to wonder about is how this is going to affect like future rounds because who do you think they're going to? I guess that kind of flows into the next round, but who do you think they're going to play?
Celtics or
yeah, you have the Celtics win the series, right?
Yeah, so they could face the Heat. I'm really hoping the Knicks because I'm just a salty Jalen Brunson fan. But I do think the thing that I have with the Celtics, and that's something I've harped on a lot recently, is who's the guy you give the ball to? Are you supposed to give it to Tatum? And can Tatum can't come up in those moments? But with the Sixers, it seems pretty obvious. You have two designated options. I believe number one's Embiid.
With the Celtics, you have two designated options, but they're playing kind of the same role, which is the problem you're kind of getting at. Yeah. With Embiid versus Harden, you can have Harden at the 3-point line and Embiid at the block. Hey, we can't get the ball to Embiid. We go to Harden. But you can't trap either of them. But with Tatum struggled in the finals last year. Tatum has not been the best playoff performer. So this is really going to be, if they do end up beating the Sixers, a matchup against the Heat is going to be tough. Because I know Jimmy's going to be put on Tatum. And Jimmy does not run out of energy.
You know when the final moments, because I think that's the biggest thing in the NBA is when you have a top guy who's playing incredibly well, you're going to defer to him. You're going to defer to the hot hand.
Yeah. And even if it's the Sixers versus the Heat, that's going to be a really tough matchup because of Bam. Bam's a great defender in the paint. I think the Heat were a team that we said this before the playoffs started. I don't get it. I never got why they were falling off so hard, why they were an 8 seed. But when Butler is playing like this, they are incredible. And I think that's a good segue into the Heat next series.
Yes, that's very good. And so we're talking about that guy. And to me, I don't think Brunson's that guy. I think he can be a key role player and like a better, like not just a role player, but a key B player. I just don't think he's that A when Jimmy Butler is on. But he could prove me wrong with this playoff series.
Are you saying that so that you don't become more angry as a Mavs fan, or?
No, I believed it. I believe it then. I think he's a key. I wish he was still on the Mavs because he's a good role player. But he's not just a role player, but to me he's not the second in command. Or he could be the second in command, just depends on how good that one is.
This will be a big series for him because the defense of the Heat is good. And so if he can show out this series, especially if Randall's out game 1 or maybe game 2 as well, that'll be huge.
Do you think we see Jimmy guard Jalen?
I don't know who else he'd guard. You want to put him on RJ Barrett? No. Jimmy has to be on Jalen. I mean, maybe you put Gabe Vincent on Jalen and have Jimmy kind of play a roamer role where he can kind of go wherever is needed. But you obviously put Bam on Julius Randle. Because Mitchell Robinson, you can box him out once they shoot, but you need to have a better defender. Maybe Jimmy guards Julius Randle and put Kyle Lowry on Brunson.
Jalen. Yeah, I was curious because is Jimmy a forward or guard, or does it not really matter?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
There's no positions in this sport.
Does he have Jimmy has a lot of length, and I know Jalen has struggled in the past with the length. Because who guarded him in the Warriors series?
Wasn't it Gary Payton II?
Maybe it was Gary Payton II.
Because I know Wiggins was on Luka.
Yes. Because I know there were points last year where Jalen dominated in the Utah series.
Mm-hmm.
But they weren't. Donovan wasn't doing great defensively. And I can't remember in the Sun series who guarded Jalen.
I thought Chris Paul guarded Jalen.
Oh, really? But Jalen, I thought Mikal must have been on Luka.
Mikal was on Luka.
Okay. But there are moments, it's tough here because I think with length, because that's, Jalen struggled in the Clipper series from a few years ago when he did play. He only played 13 minutes in Game 7.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a Clippers team that had a lot of length. So, and Jalen can't hide, or Jalen has to dominate for the Knicks to go far. That's my point, and I'm not sure if he can do that against the great Heat defense, especially when he has the best player guarding him, or best defender, like he will with Jimmy.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. So this is, again, a general question to kind of get your thoughts on stuff. But, okay, Jimmy's your guy. Let's say Jimmy's playing okay. He has 20 points. He's playing fine. Jimmy Butler, during his finals run, only averaged 22 points. So people act like on that 2020 bubble run that he was playing utterly insane, like he has been this series and the series in 2022 as well. But let's say he just has 22 points. And let's say a guy like Dave Vincent or Caleb Martin or somebody else is going off, and not by going off by a slight margin, like has 40 or some crazy number, shooting all 80% from the field. At the end of the game, do you still go to Butler?
I would assume yes, because I think that's just the guy.
You don't feed the hot hand?
Yeah, you could feed the hot hand, but I just feel they would defer. Maybe you try with the hot hand first, and if he's not dominating...
But you only get one opportunity. Like, he's played well all game. He's shooting very, very, very well from the field, but it's crunch time. It's 6 seconds left, and you're down by 2.
I guess go hot hand. I'd go hot hand.
I think you have to.
Yeah.
Because
I'm just thinking about it. That's what the Lakers did with Austin Reeves.
That's the whole. Yeah, that's the whole insinuation. Like, when is it Tatum? When is it Brown? And it's really, the answer should be who's having the better game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so I think there's a lot for players to make a name for themselves in this playoffs, because outside in the East, there's really no. Giannis is out. Embiid could make a name for himself. Disregard the playoffs. Tatum or Brown could extend their playoffs, because there's no dominant guy in the East anymore. It's Jimmy, which is shocking. But in the West, you have Kevin Durant, you have Jokic, and you have LeBron. Established guy.
We need to see Embiid become an MVP in the playoffs, an MVP-esque player, where we saw.
And we,
What were you saying?
I was gonna bring it over Jokic. We need to see not Jokic, but his team do well in advance.
Yeah. Because in the first round, Embiid did not play particularly well. Like, he played fine. But, for example, Jokic in the first round averaged 26.2, 12.4, and 9 assists. On 48.5% from the field, 50% from 3, on 4.4 attempts per game. But I go to Embiid. One second, let me pull it up. Embiid in the playoffs, in 3 games, averaged 20 points, 11 boards, and 4 assists. So it's just not the same level of dominance. He was averaging 33 points. Like, it's an argument about why he has less assists. Well, he's scoring more points. Well, in the playoffs, that's not happening. Jokic is averaging 6 more points and 5 more assists and 1 more rebound. Like, literally across the board, every stat is better.
But yeah. So I'm very intrigued. This is a playoffs that now I'm getting excited for. First round's kind of hit or miss, and it was kind of a miss this year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, let me count. So Nuggets in 5, Suns in 5, Heat in 5, Knicks in 5, 76ers in 4. That's 5 out of 8 series. The only series that went longer than 5 games. Hawks, Lakers, Warriors.
Man, can't wait to see what they do next. Oh wait, they're still in the first round. We'll see, and we'll keep you updated on that. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.